So welcome back to another episode, and today I'm going to talk about my predictions for Star Wars Episode 7, the movie that is 1 month away right now. So I want you all to know there's going to be spoilers. I'm going to talk about my predictions, what I predict to be spoilers in the movie. So obviously, I haven't seen the movie. These are just how I think the movie's going to play out. And speaking of playing out, I thought I'd play it out with Star Wars toys to illustrate the story of what I'm trying to tell. And hopefully when the movie comes out, it's close to it. What would be incredible if I was completely wrong? That would be awesome. I could be completely surprised. So I'll just start right now. So I believe the movie will start with an opening crawl, and it will talk about Leia and how she's looking for her children. I think that her children are missing. Something happened in the past with her and Han, and her children were kidnapped. They were on some starship or something, and the ship crashed or something like that, or got lost, and they never found out what happened to their kids. I know that's a crazy one, but that will tie into what I'm thinking later on. Now, it starts off with Finn, a rogue stormtrooper who's not a rogue. I believe he's a resistance fighter who's snuck in to the First Order troops, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with this new Star Killer base. And he gets found out, and he has to get the crap out of there really fast. He grabs a TIE fighter, and he crashes on Jakku. And when he lands on Jakku, he runs into Rey, who is a scavenger. She's a scavenger, and she's been on this planet for a long time. She doesn't know who her parents are, all that kind of stuff. They hook up and become friends. But just before that, Rey finds there's a crash or something happens, but BB-8 lands on Jakku as well. He lands, I don't know if he's part of a resistance ship or a scout vessel or some scout something or other, but he crashes onto Jakku. Rey finds him, and that's that. I think the information, he's looking for Rey. I think he's kind of looking for Rey. I think it's sent by Leia, but again, these are just my predictions. I may be completely wrong. Now, at that point, let's go back to the First Order. We have General Hux, who's in charge of everything. He's the big overseer of the First Order. But above him, I believe there's Andy Serkis. I believe there's going to be like a shadowy figure pulling the strings, like a Sith behind everything. Maybe even a Sith that was around commanding the Emperor at that point. So we got that evil Sith. We have General Hux, and then we have Captain Phasma, who's in charge of all the troops. And then we have, and this is very important, Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren. I do not believe he is a Sith. I believe he is somebody who is... I think he even knows who his grandfather is, which is Vader or something. And I think he's so enamored with Vader. I think he's just absolutely enamored with Vader that he wants to bring things back like that. It's kind of like, yeah, a brutal story that way, is that he aspires to be good with the dark side of the Force, but I don't think he is. And I think he constructed his lightsaber himself. I think that's his own mock lightsaber. And then underneath him, he's almost creates this religion, the Knights of Ren. And they are a religion into themselves, like that worship the old days of the Empire, which is no longer the Empire, it's the First Order. Now, this is the next bit that I do not understand. Somehow, Rey and Finn and BB-8 run into Chewbacca and Han Solo. And they get along, and I don't know if Rey knows that Han Solo is her father at that point. I'm not sure. Maybe Han doesn't even know that it's his daughter. But for some reason, and this is the bit of the story that I don't quite know, which I'm happy not to know, but they get together and they fly to another planet, and they go to a pirate base, a pirate castle. And it's ruled by this old ancient alien with these weird glasses. I'm thinking that's what happens. And here's the bit that's weird. I think this old woman has a lightsaber. Has some form of lightsaber. I don't know how it is, but she knows about the lightsaber. at least, she knows about Rey. And I think she thinks that Finn is a Jedi. Or she thinks Finn is strong with the Force, but it's Rey that she's sensing. I think there may be that. So during the story, you think that Finn is going to be a Jedi. And somehow they get the lightsaber. I don't know if it's on that planet or when they meet on the Resistance base after that. So they're there. The First Order comes in and wreaks all havoc and destroys the pirate base. There's all a bunch of shit that goes on. They get the hell off the planet. They go to the Resistance base. They bump into Poe Dameron. And then they bump into Leia and Han, and everybody's united at the Resistance base. The Resistance base is and they're happy to get Finn there. Finn has all the plans to the Starkiller base and how to destroy it or cripple it or what have you. So they decide to launch an offensive against the Starkiller base. That bit I do understand. I think there's that big, everybody gets together, and then, you see C-3PO, R2-D2 there, all that stuff, and then we go to the Starkiller base at the end, and Poe Dameron leads the strike against all of that stuff, and Han heads there, and with Rey and Finn, and all that kind of stuff. So they get to the planet. There's a huge battle on the planet. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Kylo Ren confronts Han and all those guys, and obviously Finn gets up there with a lightsaber, and he's fighting against him because maybe he even thinks he has the Force. Maybe there's a whole thing about that. He doesn't die, but I think he loses the battle. Han saves him, and here's the spoiler: Han Solo dies. I think Han Solo dies on the Starkiller base. I think he's killed by Kylo Ren, which is his son. I think that's what happens. And Rey freaks out, and she's really upset, and I think she grabs the lightsaber, and she attacks Kylo Ren, and they have a sister-brother battle on the Starkiller base. I think that was what would probably happen. And yeah, I don't know what happens to Chewie. Would it be awful if Chewbacca died too? That would be brutal. I don't know if that happens. I don't think so. I think 2 deaths would be too much for an audience. Han Solo sacrifices himself to save his daughter. And his son kills him. Oh, that's good soap opera bullshit right there. So at that point, they Poe Dameron's mission is successful. They who knows how they cripple the Starkiller base or destroy it. Rey takes the Millennium Falcon, and her and Finn and BB-8 get the heck out of there. And it's what would be almost the end of the movie, but that's when Leia tells Rey. Because Rey at that point figures out that she's a Jedi, and Princess Leia says, "I want you to go and find my brother, Luke, your uncle, and he will train you in the ways of the Force." And it will be about her flying off to find Luke at that point. I think that's how it happens. I don't know if Luke's in the end of the movie. I hope he is. That'd be great if he is, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. So, anyways, guys, those are my predictions. That's kind of how I think the general flow of the story will go. Obviously, there's a lot of details that are not in there that I'm talking about. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't know how Finn and Rey meet Han and Chewbacca. I don't know how that happens. And I don't know how the lightsaber comes together in that bit. Those are the only bits in the story that I'm a little bit mystified about, but we'll see. We'll see in a month. I'm going to check back in my own video in a month and see how wrong or how right I was. So anyways, guys, until next time.